Hello, ladies and germs. I am Alper Markov with Concepts and Legends, and today we will be talking about what I have picked as the top 10 scariest cards of Magic the Gathering. Now, I'd like to warn you before we go into this, these are truly terrifying, so if you don't like horror, you should run away right now. And now, let's get to the cards. Number 10, Terror by Adam Rex. It completely nails what terror is. The definition of terror is a state of intense and overwhelming fear. And this piece, which inverts the idea of the circle of life with the circle of death, brings out all of our fears that we face with our own physical demise. And the setting sun in the background is extra bleak in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre way. Number 9, Treacherous Urge by Steve Belladin. A puppet hanging from a barbed wire is being forced to saw itself in half. The pain on its face, the unnatural angle of his cutting arm and hand, the inferred violence of the sawdust falling, truly one of the most unsettling in Magic the Gathering. Number 8, Delver of Secrets / Aberrant Researcher by Niels Hamm. This is actually one of 4 images that follow the story of a very twisted, very insane wizard who, for whatever reason, seems to think he will be better off as a giant praying mantis rather than his current human form. He manages to get there, but these images show his eerie beginnings and his midway point through the process. You can sense the obsession and the isolation here. Kafka meets Magic the Gathering. Number 7, Soul Reap by Izzy. This is a snapshot of the untimely end of a Kithkin, think Hobbit, only Magic the Gathering, who has been absorbed into the belly of some horrible monster. The flavor text tells us that it was the last thoughts that were had by this pitiful creature and were shared with its entire clan when they attempted to recover it. Number 6, Blood Baron of Vizkopa by Anthony Palumbo. I love vampires, but I do not love vampires who take joy in torturing their victims. This high-ranking baron of the Vizkopa Bank of the Orzhov Syndicate takes joy in it, and even has 2 humans in his gilded cage. This is a horrific scene, and if you ask me, a true low-life vampire. Number 5, Ad Nauseam by Jeremy Jarvis. It's a Latin term for discussing things to the point of nausea. Its literal translation is to nausea. But here we see the modern definition of, quote, something repeated to an excessive and sickening amount, quote, taken to a horrific peak. A cursed zombie consigned to repeatedly write something down, we're not sure what, on pieces of paper over and over, its eyes peeled open by a Demir sigil, and its forearms replaced with paintbrushes that are fueled by a needle running in its own blood as paint? Ugh. Number 4, Cackling Fiend by Brian Despain. A laughing zombie. You can only imagine what that sounds like. And this zombie apparently likes to use a maze of pipes to echo its laughter to whoever is unfortunate enough to be close enough to hear it. No. No. Number 3, Skin Invasion / Skin Shredder by Niels Hamm. I have to give it up to Niels again, he's back in there. The flavor text starts with, patients complained of burning sensation in upper back and at the base of neck. Bed rest is recommended. In a couple of days, he should feel like a new man. This Innistrad physician's careless diagnosis is black comedy, but what happens to this man is pure horror. Unlike the Delver of Secrets, this poor man did not want this metamorphosis. Number 2, Thought Scour by David Raposa. This is really a hard card to look at. This is a person, or what used to be a person, we aren't entirely sure if they're living or dead, who is in absolute agony as his mind is being torn open by machines that look like a dentist's office from hell. It's been screaming so long, its mouth and lips are chapped and cracking, as its brain is being invaded in 3 different places by some horrible metal hands that hold onto it with an almost gentle grasp. That brings in even more of a terrible focus on the brutality that is happening. This one is bad. And number 1, Hanawir Garrison / Hanawir the Writhing Township by Vincent Proce. In this particular piece, an entire town is felled by Emrakul as she warps the minds of each living person and animal and fuses them together into a writhing, monstrous ooze that makes its way across the countryside. Its very presence being something so terrible that it has been said to drive people insane just by looking at it. These are people who banded together to protect themselves. They built a wall and thought that banding together would be their salvation. It is utterly tragic that somehow Emrakul twists their fate into a nihilistic irony. If you look deeper, you will see not even dogs or babies are spared the awful fate in this living nightmare. and the two children looking on, it's heartbreaking. As I discussed with Vincent in a previous interview, we can only hope those two children grow up to become planeswalkers who hunt and destroy Eldrazi's. That would be the best thing ever. Here's hoping. If you're listening, Wizards of the Coast, steal this idea. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the experience very scary. And before we go, I'd like to announce this week's winner of our weekly giveaway, what we have whenever we do a video. And the winner is RP Geeks, and he gets himself, or she gets themselves, a foily Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose. And if you would like to be part of this giveaway, all you have to do is like and subscribe. So until next time, I gots to scoop.